Hello, people from around the universe. I am your host, the Italian Ace, and welcome back to the channel because it's been a little bit, and the main reason for that is that the video that I'm working on is taking a while to edit, and also the holidays have been really busy. Like a really good type of busy. It's not just work or something like that, but they've been really busy, so I haven't actually been able to get a lot of that editing done, and that's why that video is delayed. But I figured I would at least do something in the meantime, and so I'm gonna be reacting to an older video where I predict 5 major events, I guess, for 2022 in Pokemon, and I want to see how accurate or not I was with my predictions. So, with that in mind, cue my intro. Okay, here we go. And real quick, I just have one more thing to say. Merry Christmas to everyone, even though it's a couple days late at this point. And also, there's something really cool that's gonna be coming to the channel very, very soon. But not quite yet. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be a fun time, so you can look forward to that. Anyway, enough with all of the preamble. Let's get right down to my top 5 predictions for 2022. Which is also one of the videos I made with my old setup, and before I was really getting any views, so it's gonna be really interesting to see what the quality is. And here we go. For the first prediction, I think the Pokemon Legends Arceus will be released on January 28th. Alright, okay. As you can tell from my face right there, this was supposed to be a joke, and so we are not gonna sit through this one for too long, but yeah, obviously Legends Arceus did release. I just thought that was a funny little addition to it. Let's get to the actual first prediction. I kind of forgot I even did that, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Just so you know, these are probably going to go in the order that I think is from most likely to least likely. Right. So take that for what you will. Sure. But I do firmly believe, and that's why it's my first one, that Legends Arceus will have new Hisuian forms for the starters. Okay, see, it feels bizarre to even go back to that time. But there was actually a fair amount of speculation on whether or not the starters would get new regional variants for the games. And I was always of the idea that was going to be the case. I even made a separate video on that way back in October. I would say go check it out, but the quality of the video is too bad for me to say that with a good conscience. Anyway, I was obviously right about this one, but as I say in the video, these are going from like the most likely prediction to the least likely one. So let's move on to the next one. Next, let's jump into one that is a bit here we go. Spicier, if you will. Yes. One that I think will have a lot of people's interest peaked. And that is, I think that in 2022, Pokemon will, at the very least, reveal a new main series game. Okay, yes, alright. By the way, we're not going to go through the whole video, we're just going to go through what the actual prediction is, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on what happened. This one, I remember, and I talk about in the video, that there were people doubting that we were going to get a new main series game for 2 main reasons. One, we just had the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl remakes, and Legends Arceus basically back to back. And 2, there's like either a 3 or 4 year gap between one generation and the next, and so it's not certain that after 3 years you're going to get a new generation. However, I was very confident in this one because lately it's always been a 3-year gap, and I think Pokemon just kind of wants to pump out as many games as possible, even though it might lead to some unfortunate circumstances with something like Scarlet and Violet's glitches. But that's like the general idea, I think, behind this. So it's not really a super crazy prediction, but I am happy that I was right about this one because at the time, and again, it's so weird to think back to a year ago almost to this day. At the time, many people were kind of on the fence on this. So I'm glad I called it correctly, because I think some of these next predictions are not gonna go so well. And that is,
Okay, let's see.
that I am
Prediction 3.
almost positive Legends Arceus will have some sort of DLC.
All right. Yep. Okay. Okay. The DLC for Legends Arceus.
All right. I'm gonna chalk this one up as the first failed prediction of the video, because, like, we got Daybreak, but is that really DLC? I mean, not really. Okay, at least it's not what I was thinking when I made this prediction. Like, Daybreak was more of an update than anything, if that makes sense. Kind of like, oh, this is something that we were always gonna put in the game, but we didn't have time to implement it for the release of the game, so here you go, 2 months later, you get this, right? You could consider it DLC, I guess, but, like, to me it's not, and so I'm not gonna give myself the points here, because that would just be disingenuous in my opinion. But I mean, if you guys think it's DLC, then that's another check mark right there, and I am doing pretty well in that case. And if not, I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't too bad. Okay, before we get to this fourth one, this is the only one I don't remember at all. So that's probably not a good thing, because I feel like I am very conscious of the predictions I made that did end up coming true. And because I don't remember anything about this, it's probably a pretty big miss, but we'll see, okay? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just got it spot on and I forgot. But I doubt it. I doubt it.
Okay, let's
And
see.
that is
Let's see.
Pokemon revealing a new spin-off game. Whether that be just a completely new game, like Legends Arceus, or a sequel to another spin-off series.
It's this one. Okay. Well,
Alright. So nothing of the sort happened, and I was a little too ambitious here, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was just a little too ambitious. Like, really having a prediction for both Gen 9 and the reveal of a new spin-off game the same year as the release of Legends Arceus? I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot, okay? So, I was pretty bold in predicting this one. And I kind of say that I'm like, oh, this is probably the first real out there prediction, if you will. And yeah, this did not happen at all. I think in the video I mentioned something like, oh, we could get another spin-off game that's very similar to the main series one in Legends Arceus, which also technically is a core series game, kind of, sort of. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we could get something like that that still has the core mechanics, or it could be something completely different, like maybe a sequel to XD and Colosseum. I think that was a big one that I wanted and still kind of do want, honestly. But it doesn't matter, because we didn't get anything like that. I mean, not even the shadow of it at all. No, no, we did not. I am really off the mark here. I don't really know what else to say, because there wasn't even the shadow of a potential hint for a future reveal for a spin-off game. So this is very much a failed prediction, and it's like probably the worst one in the whole video. Although the final one I remember very well, and it's the most painful one in the whole video. But okay, let's get to my final prediction.
here we go.
And there's a reason I kept this for last.
I can't watch.
Beyond
I
it
can't watch.
possibly being the least likely. And that is because my final prediction for Pokemon in 2022 is that the
Don't
main
say it.
series Pokemon
Don't say
game
it.
that will be revealed
Don't say it.
will be based on Italy.
Ah, he said it. I said it.
Oh, I said it. I did it. Oh my gosh, why? Oh, the pain is back. The pain is back. Okay, look. I think at the time of me recording this, obviously Scarlet and Violet had not been announced. Legends Arceus hadn't even come out, so this was a while ago. And really, I think what I was basing it off of was the fact that we had gone in England, well, I guess UK in general, region, and then that was only 2 generations after a France region. And so in my mind, I was already kind of like, they could just go to Europe again, and like, what better place than Italy, right? And I still think that hasn't changed. And then there was also that painting in Sword and Shield, or was it Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? One of the two, where it kind of looked like it could be Venice, right? It could also be a Van Gogh painting of, I think, something in Switzerland, and I do mention that in the video. But in my mind, I was like, well, Switzerland will be a very weird choice for like the next main series games, unless it's tied to some other region, because it's a very small country. I mean, they could do something like that, but I just don't see that being the prime candidate for a Pokemon region, right? Meanwhile, Italy is, I think, basically tailor-made for a Pokemon game, because you have the beautiful sites that you can go and explore, whether they are in nature or especially with like man-made historical artifacts, buildings, what have you. You also have a very like relaxed vibe for the game just right there, kind of like Alola because of the climate. Like it could just be a very nice, sunny, like Mediterranean atmosphere, which I guess they technically did go with for these games, so that wasn't completely wrong. And so just combining all of this, in my mind, it made a lot of sense that the next games were going to be Italy, okay? Obviously there was some bias, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, me being Italian definitely played a factor into this, obviously, right? But I truly did believe that Italy was the most likely region for the upcoming Gen 9 games. And so I wasn't really like just basing it off of my wants or like feelings, but also there was some logic, right? But it doesn't matter. I'm trying to justify it didn't happen. Alright, it didn't happen. I don't know why I'm still here trying to justify my completely wrong prediction, alright? It's just, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts so much. It hurts so much. Oh my gosh, there's still no Italy. The fact that we're gonna be at the very best, I was gonna say the 4th region in Europe, which is true, but it would be like the 7th country to be represented in Europe or something like that, because you already have France, England, Scotland, and now yes, England, Scotland, and like Wales and Northern Ireland are all technically one country, but like, you know what I mean? And then you have Spain, but also kind of sort of Portugal, because it seems like it's the whole Iberian Peninsula. I mean, that's another weird one where it's like, do they include Portugal in the new games or not? Whatever. The fact that we're gonna be 4th in line, oh my gosh. There's just no way. Like, there's just no way. Just please don't put us behind Germany. Like, I am begging you, Pokemon, please. I can't take that. If you have a Germany region before when you have an Italy one, oh my gosh, no. Don't do Germany. Oh my gosh, we cannot lose to Germany in terms of when we get represented in Pokemon games. It's bad enough that we lost to France and England already. We cannot... No. And that is it for my video reacting to my top 5 predictions for Pokemon in 2022. I will probably make a sequel to this at the beginning of 2023 because it just makes sense. And I would be very curious to hear what you guys have in mind for the upcoming year for Pokemon. Also, I do apologize for the video quality not being as good as what all of you are used to, because realistically at this point in my YouTube channel, I think I maybe had 20 subscribers. So not a lot of you were there, which is good because the quality wasn't great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, let me know what you thought of my predictions, and let me know what you have for your predictions for 2023, because I think it could be a pretty good year for Pokemon as well, and it's definitely going to be an amazing year for games, and I will actually make a separate video about that. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you all in the next video. But until then, remember to follow the way of the Ace. See ya!